So you want to talk about a black boy getting hated on? I mean, I didn't even understand it at that time. I assumed everybody loved everybody, but when I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, if I was him, I would have been mad at me too. So I was making good money, but the thing was, I didn't like the way I was treated. I didn't like the fact that they didn't appreciate the work I wanted to do for the African American community. I didn't like the fact that every time I did something that was extra black, I would get punished. I would be celebrated in the black community, but punished in my white community, in the white space. So I said, I got to get the hell up out of here. These people, this is terrible. And so one thing I remember feeling like, as I said, wait a minute, hold on. If I'm supposed to have all this education, I started realizing that most business school professors have never run a business. And most business school professors don't know how to make money without getting a paycheck. And I said, that's kind of a contradiction. That's a bit of an oxymoron. I need to fix that. That's kind of weird that I can only pay my bills if this person's feeding me financially, if they're giving me this check. So I said, how do people pay their bills without a job? So I started researching that. I started listening to podcasts of people who don't go to work every day but still make money. I started, kind of really thinking carefully about my own limitations in terms of what I was and was not taught. And it led me to think about culture and just how the job culture had been so deep in my experience and deep in my family. And I said, no, I'm rebelling against that. We're going to escape that, because the thing is, if you are able to pay me money for my skill set, then I should be able to also pay myself. I should be able to also extract just as much wealth out of me as you can extract out of me, right? So my point is to say that I think sometimes when we don't have the right exposure and the right experience, we can really limit ourselves, and that's how you have these really hardworking, intelligent people who end up becoming like, warehouse guards or something because that's all that they were exposed to. I would argue, in fact, that I would rather be a person of average intelligence who thinks big than to be a genius who thinks small. If you're a genius who thinks small, you're not going to accomplish much. You're going to do very small things really, really well. Right? So you're going to do small things that no one cares about, and you're going to be really damn good at it. It's almost like me counting the number of tiles in the ceiling in my house or something, right? Or the number of cracks. 10 there's 2,347,842 tiny micro cracks in the ceiling. That's hard to do, but it doesn't necessarily add value. It's a tiny task, but it's done extremely well. So I would almost say that if you are wise and you're trying to expand your thinking economically, you got to push yourself outside the box a little bit. And I think you have to maybe start with this premise that you don't know nearly as much as you need to know. And that and then also an added premise would be that there are people out there that know what I need to know. So I'm going to go out into the world and listen and hear enough stories and see enough experiences and get enough exposure to expand my thinking. But then also, I'm not going to limit my kids in their thinking. So it's because I sat there and I just was telling our son the other day, I was like, dude, to be honest with you, I said, if I'd known what at your age, what I know now, I don't even think I would have went to college. I would have went to the best entrepreneurship program I could possibly find and did a year of intense training in how to run a business. Maybe 2 years, whatever. I definitely wouldn't have spent 8, 9, 10 years trying to get a PhD so I can get a great job. I literally would have spent 2 years as a black man, based on where my experience would be as a black man, where you don't get the same opportunities, you don't get the same jobs.